I mean, they're creating humans that have some alien DNA in them for some reason? Is it a way of just integrating into our world?
Well, the alien, I don't think that the military, maybe the military is creating alien-human hybrids. I guess it's a possibility, but...
But are the aliens creating hybrids?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of evidence of that. There's more than enough people who have come forward and said that there definitely are aliens who are mixing human DNA with alien DNA and creating hybrid beings. Yeah, that's all kinds of people.
Well, what is the purpose for creating hybrid beings? Is it so that the beings can become more like us and adapt to our world? They want to be alien on the inside and look like us on the outside, or?
I think it probably differs with the alien beings as to what the purpose is.
Right.
You know, they might have different reasons for doing that, and some of them might be basically because they want to know what's going on in human society. You know, so they have like basically spies, so to speak. You know, to have them do that. You know.
And you think they have a way of monitoring their spies? I mean, so the implants are some kind of way that they can basically receive whatever you're seeing, hearing, experiencing?
Yeah, that is just instantly transmitted back.
Right.
You know.
So it's just downloaded to an alien spacecraft computer, or their bases could be here on Earth, or you know, I know it's totally far-fetched, but not for our Mystery Us audience. We can go there.
Yeah.
And this is probably the first time that Mystery Us has really went, you know, this far with, you know, really discussing the whole alien agenda and there's so many various phenomena associated with it, and of course different phenomena may or may not be related. There's cattle mutilation, and then the abductions, and of course UFO sightings, which, you know, as you know, I film UFOs, and that's about as far as I go with it. You know, I film them. Oh, aren't those really nice UFOs? I don't really think about who's driving or why they're here or those things, but maybe it could be one of the most important questions that mankind's facing. We don't know how important it could be.
Right.
I mean, if the aliens' intentions are good or evil, do you think they're mainly benevolent, or I'm sure there's got to be bad ones, just like there's bad humans, there's good humans?
I think most of them are basically kind of neutral. I don't think they involve themselves with human activity that much. I think they might, you know, become involved when you have more of a, well, like when humans have got this technology that they're not supposed to have, basically, and it's changed them. And I think some aliens are concerned, you know, about human society and its, you know, possible collapse because it can't deal with the technology that it has, and so they may become involved, you know, for that reason.
Yeah, and especially since we've got nuclear weapons and things where we can destroy ourselves and perhaps contaminate the whole universe. I mean, I don't know how it works, but if you contaminate Earth, obviously Earth is a Garden of Eden. I mean, there's life here compared to anywhere near here, as far as we know. There's nowhere close by that would have life, so anywhere that life would be coming from would require a super highly advanced technological society, maybe even 1 million years in advance of our knowledge at this point.
Exactly.
On the other hand, maybe some of them are here and they've been here a long time. Maybe they're not that far advanced of us. I don't know. Are you familiar with the work of Zecharia Sitchin?
I've read some of the
Planet and
I've not read entire books, but I've read some things online that he's said. For instance, about the Sumerian kings list and his translation of it. I actually think that there actually really were kings that were kings in those particular areas, in those city-states in Sumeria, and that the time frames are just not known to us exactly what they were.
Right.
You know, that it wasn't actually years. They didn't actually rule for 600,000 years or something like that. That it was more like 600,000 units of time that we just don't know, you know, what they were. So
and I mean, you're quite a bit of a historian. I mean, you're not a you don't go around. You know, here's my card. I'm a hybrid reptilian alien.
No,
for a living.
No, I don't do that at all.
You have a company here, and you have a normal existence.
Right.
And
I can function normally. I pay my bills.
And I applaud your courage for being able to come out and just, you know, say, you know, this is what's going on.
Well, for a lot of years I haven't come out, so
I don't know what it means, but I have this ability to make these sounds. And is there any other aspects of your physiology that are different than a normal human?
Yeah. I normally hold my hands this way. I don't usually hold my hands. I can hold my hands this way. I can type, you know, and play guitar and things like that. But probably 90% of the time, I hold my hands like this anymore. I don't usually. This is the comfortable way to hold my hands like that. There is a bony ridge on my skull that, in fact, you felt it before, I believe.
Right.
And it goes back, and then there's a depression in my head right here. There's basically a hole in my head there. Whether that's anything, I don't know.
Right.
But I also have developed the ability...
Like a gecko lizard.
You're going to go back to the lizards again. I also have recently developed the ability to make these sounds, and I call them like motor sounds, or like chainsaw, or things like that. And they are also sounds that I make with the throat.
Well, let us hear that if you don't mind.
Okay, and these are the ones that I actually think could have applications, like with electronic music or other avant-garde music, you know, in collaboration with them. Sometimes it takes a while to warm this up, but anyway. Using my tongue there.
Wow, that sounds almost like an alien craft or something coming in.
So you've heard an alien craft, really?
Well, in the movies, you know.
Yeah.
I actually have heard a vibrational sound similar to that vibrated in a building that I was in, and I don't know what the cause of it was.
And they sounded similar to that?
But it gave you just gave you the impression of some kind of alien presence. Of course, I have no direct knowledge of that, but I do know that there are craft up there. Now, whether those craft are all, you know, made by military, I'm sure the military has their own craft as well, or they probably shot down a couple of the craft and tried to back engineer them. We've heard stories about that from Roswell and other places. I interviewed John E. Clayton, who was at Roswell, and
oh yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, do you know anything about the Roswell incident, or has any of the UFO literature? Let me phrase it this way. Has any of the UFO literature rang a bell with you, or been like, yeah, that seems like my situation?
There was a general who, I can't remember his name, but he's online, but he's talked about some things to do that rang some bells with me in reference to connection with the aliens, and the aliens, you know, basically being benevolent and wanting to be involved with human society, and warning, you know, humans and about the technology that they had gained, the advanced technology they weren't supposed to have. Not that they stole it, that's a bad thing, but basically that, you know, that it's bad for them because their, you know, society's back here and now the technology's up here, and they can't handle it. You know, they're drunk with technology basically, and this is why they have the problems that they have in their society. That kind of rang a bell with me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Not anybody else that I can really think that actually where I said, oh yeah, that's my story. And in fact, I've had people in message boards and whatnot criticize me and say, you know, oh, I've heard that before. I'm thinking, well, where? You know, show me, because, you know, misery loves company, you know. I would like to know somebody else is dealing with the same things that I'm dealing with, because it's not only just that I can do these things. I've had 2 different accidents with 2 different vehicles. I was hit from behind, one time at a stoplight, another time coming off the, you know, the ramp onto a highway where there's a stop sign there, and a guy rammed me. I've been, or if I want to change my route at the last minute, almost inevitably I'm going to see a dark helicopter flying across the path in front of my car. There was a helo with guns that hovered over one of our family reunions.
Now,
I've been
like
buzzed
the
by
black
helos.
helicopters that we hear about, like MIB?
They're dark helos. I don't know if I would say they were
Are they
black.
silent?